We all live in the world as well. Our employees do, our families do. We've been committed to this for about 2 years now as a group of companies. We were in favor of and absolutely support the agreement that was reached in Paris. So we sat back and said, okay, it's not easy getting 10 big companies around the world, private and national oil companies, to work together, but what can we do to try to move the dial and help our companies as well, and try also to have some economics in it for us as well. It's not a philanthropic effort.
Eldar, it seems to me that you are potentially on the wrong side of history and technology here. It sounds like you're trying to make a better Kodak camera, a better Polaroid camera when the world has gone digital. What we need is renewables, and tinkering around with how you produce hydrocarbons is like making a better Polaroid camera.
Well, the world is definitely going to need a lot more renewable energy, but it's also going to need a lot more new oil and gas. So we're talking about oil and gas as part of the energy mix for decades to come. That means we have to address that issue. It's real. So what we can do is actually doing actions that has impact, and this is about actions. This is not about words.
Bob, you are announcing a fund, a collective fund here of $1 billion over the next 10 years that you're going to contribute to. $1 billion over 10 years, that's $10 million per company per year. There are individuals sat on these stools who make more money than that in a year. It's a joke, no? I mean, people will look at that number and say that's, that is laughably small. You're going to spend $86 billion on oil and gas exploration this year alone. You're putting 1,000 times more than you're putting into this fund.
So the beginning of this is both companies, all the 3 companies and the 10 companies spend billions beyond just this fund. So this is the common area. This is a start. We've all said this is just a start. It'll build up. I mean, we could have said $2 billion, we could have said 500
million. Why did you say that?
million.
Why did you say 10 billion?
Well, because we don't want to just throw money at a problem. We want to get the governance around it. It's not easy to have 10 companies all work together, and now our technology teams are all working together. So I wouldn't get stuck on the number. What we wanted to do, and by the way, this is during a time when all oil and gas investments are going down. I mean, I would look at this and say $1 billion is still significant in our world as well, but it'll grow.
I think it's hugely significant, $1 billion. To put $1 billion, no, but $1 billion in new technologies for climate is a big effort. Last year in Paris, some billionaires announced a breakthrough coalition with $2 billion. Everybody applauded them. Why today? Because the oil and gas companies want to put together $1 billion. We should not applaud this.
Because you're spending 1,000 times as much as that over the same period on finding new gas.
No, it's not true. By the way, we are, as Bob said, we are just lowering our spendings because we have less revenues. And there's a time where we are all very disciplined on our capex investments in this industry. We decide to put more money on this specific issue. It is a proof that we are really committed.
Donald Trump may be the next president of the United States. He's pledged to go back into big coal, to start using US coal reserves. What's your message to the American people, Donald Trump? That seems to be, how does that affect what your industry is doing? What do you make of it? Just give me your impression.
Yeah, well, so people talk about fossil fuels. Well, actually, it's natural gas in terms of emission, then there's oil, and then there's a whole spectrum, wider than Patrick here, on coal in terms of emissions. And so that is really, once you install those coal-fired power plants, then they're there. And what we really believe, all of us, is we should be over here with natural gas, half the CO2 emissions, make sure the methane doesn't leak.
Mr. Trump will maybe have a policy in favor of coal, but at the end, the economic players will decide which energy to use, are using the energy which is the most competitive. And in the US, it's gas today.